Right. Porter's 5 forces. Let me start with a comfortable lie because you've all told yourself this one at 3 in the morning. I just need to outwork the competition. Cute! Here's the thing. You can outwork everyone in your industry and still make less money than a mediocre operator in a better industry. That's not motivational. That's not what LinkedIn told you. But it's what Michael Porter actually argued in 1979, and almost everyone who quotes him has never read him. Because here's what most people do with 5 forces. They open a slide deck, they make a little 5-box diagram, they write their competitors' names in one box, and then they go, right, done. We've done the strategy. That's a competitor checklist with a famous man's name stapled to it. That is not what it is. Porter's argument was about structure. The industry you're in has a profit ceiling, a ceiling baked in, set by 5 forces, not one, and 4 of those 5 forces have nothing to do with your rivals at all. They're quietly eating your margin while you're busy staring at the one competitor who annoys you on Twitter. Look at Airlines, brilliant operators, genuinely brilliant, some of the best logistics brains on the planet, obsessive cost control, load factors optimized to the gnat's whisker, and the industry has, over its lifetime, destroyed capital. Meanwhile, some bloke running a regional cement business, and I mean no offense to cement, is printing money. Is he smarter? No, he's in a better structure. That's the whole video, but stay with me, because the mechanism matters. So let's take one example and drag it through all 5. Let's say you run a small business-to-business software company, project management software for building contractors. 50 quid a seat, month to month. Nice little thing. You've got 200 customers and you're growing. Force 1, competitive rivalry. This is the one everyone knows. How many of you are fighting over the same customers and how brutal is it? Rivalry gets vicious when there are lots of similar-sized players, when the product's undifferentiated, when growth is slow, so the only way to win is to take someone else's customer. And when you can't leave because you've sunk costs into it, so you knife each other on price instead. Your contractor software, there are 40 of you, 40 all doing roughly the same Gantt chart with a hard hat icon on it. So you discount, they discount, everyone's margin goes down and the customer wins. Rivalry is a margin transfer machine and you're on the wrong end of it. Force 2, threat of new entrants. Not who's here, who could turn up on Tuesday, because the mere possibility of new entrants disciplines your pricing. If you start making lovely fat margins and it's easy to copy you, somebody copies you. What raises the barrier? Capital requirements, real brand, regulation, patents, controlled distribution, economies of scale, high switching costs. What lowers it? Cheap tooling, easy distribution, nothing proprietary, and customers who can leave on a Friday, your software. What's the barrier? 2 developers in a weekend. Well, maybe 6 weekends. That is not a barrier. That's a speed bump with ambitions. Force 3, bargaining power of suppliers. Who do you have to pay, and can they squeeze you? Suppliers get powerful when there aren't many of them, when what they sell you is unique, when it costs you a fortune to switch, and when you need them more than they need you. Your supplier's cloud hosting, the payments processor, maybe an application programming interface you built a core feature on top of. And here's the bit that stings your best developers or suppliers too. They're selling you labor in a market where they have options. That's why your wage bill goes up, whether or not your price is due. Then one Tuesday, your API partner triples their pricing. You don't get to say no, that's supplier power, that's not competition. That's a tax force 4, bargaining power of buyers, your customers. Ask yourself the honest question, can they beat you down on price? Buyers get powerful when there are few of them buying big volumes, when your product is a commodity, when they can switch cheaply, and when they know exactly what everything costs because it's all on a pricing page. Your contractors, 3 of your 200 customers are 40% of your revenue. 40%. So when they say we're reviewing our software spend, you don't negotiate, you fold, and the little ones, they churn out at 3% a month because it's a 50 quid decision and there's no pain in leaving. You don't have customers there, you have a landlord. Force 5, threat of substitutes. This is the assassin. Substitutes aren't rivals, they're a completely different answer to the same job. Your competitor is other contractor software. Your substitute is a spreadsheet. It's a WhatsApp group. It's a whiteboard in the site cabin. It's the foreman who's been doing this for 30 years and has it in his head, and nobody puts the whiteboard on the competitive landscape slide, do they? Adorable. The whiteboard is beating you. The whiteboard is free. So put it together. High rivalry, low entry barriers, moderate supplier power, high buyer power, strong cheap substitutes. That's not a business with a bad year. That's a business with a ceiling. And you can be the most heroic founder in history in that structure, and you will grind. That's Porter's actual point, and it's brutal. Structure sets the ceiling, effort decides where you sit under the ceiling, and most people spend their entire career optimizing their position under a ceiling they never thought to measure. Now, how this fits with the rest of the series, because this doesn't stand alone. 5 forces tells you whether the industry is worth being in at all. It's the room. Then VRIO tells you whether you have any real edge inside that room, is what you've got valuable, rare, hard to copy, and are you actually organized to use it. Then Value Disciplines tells you which lane you're going to dominate once you've decided to stay. Best product, best cost, or best relationship. Room, edge, lane, in that order. Because picking a lane inside a collapsing room is just choosing how you'd like to lose. And the AI thing, I did the whole AI moat video. Go watch it, but sit it inside this frame because it's cleaner here. Artificial intelligence hits two forces at once, and both of them badly. It's a substitute. It's a new answer to the same job, and it does not care about your feature list. And it's an entry barrier collapser. Whatever moat you had made of this is hard to build, just got shallower. 6 weekends became one, that barrier you were quietly relying on and never wrote down. Gone. That's not doom. That's structure moving, which is exactly what 5 forces is for. Most people are using it to describe a world that's already changed. Right. Honest caveats, because I'm not selling you a religion. 5 forces is a snapshot. It's static. It tells you what the structure is today and says almost nothing about how fast it's moving, which in software is the whole game. It underweights compliments, things that make your product more valuable without competing with you. Porter waved at it. He didn't build it in. It underweights network effects, which can turn a bad structure good by themselves, and it's a lens, not a law. Anyone who tells you the model predicts your profit is selling something. It doesn't predict. It makes you look at the 4 things you are avoiding. So here's your dare this week, not this quarter, this week. Map your 5 forces, 5 boxes. Be honest in all 5, especially the 2 you don't want to do, which are buyers and substitutes, because those are the ones that are actually taking your money. Then ask the real question, is the ceiling in this room high enough for the life I'm trying to build? And if the answer is no, then no amount of getting up at 5 in the morning fixes it. You don't need a better cold email sequence. You need a different room. Go and map it.